Greetings, dear friends on the Military Reporter channel. As always, we continue to make selections of what is happening from the front line. Russian soldiers in this footage can be seen checking enemy positions by firing comic shells from an automatic Kalashnikov. And with this very movement, Russian soldier wakes up Ukrainian soldiers at 7 a.m. so that the guys did not oversleep the working day. The Ukrainian soldiers have relaxed a bit, they're moving around as a group, they've forgotten where they are. But the Russian soldiers reminded them that the war was on. Meanwhile, the operator of the Russian reconnaissance drone, located at a considerable height, clearly records the coordinates of the enemy's manpower concentration. The digital label is placed exactly in the center of the group. After a short data transfer to the firing position, artillery training begins. Within a few seconds, an artillery crew of the Russian armed forces opens fire, presumably from 152mm self-propelled guns, MST-S, or similar cannon artillery. The first shells fall slightly to the side, the target, then a correction, and an accurate hit, a direct cover on a cluster of Ukrainian soldiers. The drone's camera captures a series of powerful explosions, clouds of earth and dust rising into the sky. Is everyone in one piece? Let's go! A Russian soldier threw an anti-tank mine into a building, burying the Chubatsky under the rubble. Fixation of the throwing was made from a drone, and the moment of the explosion itself was recorded on a helmet camera of the Russian attack aircraft, as the Russian soldiers were in close proximity to the enemy. After the explosion, the drones of the Ukrainian soldiers started to work on the Russians, which caused some soldiers to be wounded, but fortunately all of them survived. Deep penetration of FPV drone of Russian soldiers of the southern group of troops into the bowels of Ukrainian armored vehicles in the center of Konstantinovka. Dear friends, if the video is interesting to you, support it with a like and subscribe to the channel to not miss new releases. And to be informed, click on the bell. Thank you for watching, and we will continue. A sniper pair positioned at a camouflaged firing point in the rear of the Russian positions watches the route without undue haste. There is a combination of a shooter and an observer. The latter uses a high-precision rangefinder and weather station to calculate corrections for wind, humidity, temperature, and target range of up to a meter. The operator of the rifle appears to be using a high-precision long-range weapon, presumably a large-caliber rifle such as the SVDK, Lobaev or the Lashtam, chambered .338 Lapua Magnum. When the next pair of Ukrainian armed forces soldiers leaves the forest belt and begins crossing the open area, a brief command arrives. The target is captured. Simultaneous holding of breath. The ruler of the sight freezes on the chest and head of the first target. There is a dull pop, nothing more. A moment later, the fall of the first fighter. The second one tries to rush for cover, but a split second later, a second shot is fired, accurate, well-honed, verified. Both targets are destroyed. The entire operation takes no more than 20 seconds. After that, the surveillance camera continues to record the area. The enemy, apparently, either did not understand where the shots were coming from or had not yet realized the losses. Everything happened quickly and silently. Footage from Dnipro region. Ukrainian soldiers show how FAB bombs destroy Ukrainian positions.
Диви. Так ми ж навіть свиста не чуємо. Прикинь, звука немає, я щось не можу. Ти перекидуєш. Це пацани нічого такого.
It's better to stay low when snipers of 331st Kostroma Regiment are working. The guys are working in close proximity to the enemy. Destruction of a mine performed by a Russian sniper. We remind you that all mines and IEDs are destroyed remotely. The video shows the impressive work of a sniper pair of the 331st Kostroma Parachute Regiment operating in one of the front sectors. The fighters took up a favorable firing position on the top floor of a destroyed high-rise building. The altitude gave them not only an excellent view of the terrain, but also the opportunity to work covertly, remaining unnoticed by the enemy. This decision turned out to be strategically correct. From the position, the movement of the Ukrainian infantry in the area of the destroyed fortified area was visible. At first, the sniper pair watched without revealing themselves. One of the fighters worked on surveillance and correction using powerful optics and rangefinder guidance devices. The second one was preparing the shot, adjusting the ballistics taking into account the wind, temperature, and distance. After a brief transmission of coordinates and confirmation of the target, a shot followed, a sharp pop, and the target was instantly hit. Judging by the equipment and behavior, the drone operator or a mid-level officer who coordinated the work of the observation posts was destroyed. The loss of such a fighter is a significant blow to enemy fire control and reconnaissance. Without pausing, the snipers immediately turned their position and left the building without waiting for a possible artillery response. The speed of work and the accuracy of the task is an indicator of the highest professional training. The importance of snipers on the front line cannot be overestimated. They work in the gray zone, controlling the front line, spreading panic and fear among the enemy. Their targeted fire disrupts logistics, hinders the transfer of weapons, and destroys officers, spotters, and UAV operators. Each shot is not just the elimination of a target, but the undermining of the enemy's morale and the destruction of the control system. It is precisely such actions that make the front mobile, depriving the enemy of a sense of security even in the depths of their positions.
Готово? Переходим.
The video shows two Russian soldiers discovering a Ukrainian militant hideout in an apartment building. Acting decisively, they first threw 2 grenades inside to suppress resistance and inflict losses on the enemy. After the bursts, having assessed the situation, the fighters broke into the building. During the short but intense battle, the remaining enemy were eliminated. The premises were swiftly cleared and the facility was taken under control. Such a pinpoint operation increases the pressure on enemy positions and demonstrates the high level of training and coordination of the Russian military in close combat. Kursk direction, working towards the city of Suma. The Special Regiment is working to control the territory of the Army South. Russian soldiers are firing artillery shells at enemy positions. This video was made last night. Ambush of a Russian drone for Ukrainian soldiers on an ATV in the Belgorod region. Russian drone operators continue to use this rather effective tactic. the work of a sniper of the Russian armed forces on the Zaporizhia direction this night. Glorious hunting. Operators of reconnaissance drones of the Independent Guard's 200 Brigade continue to delight us with awesome content. On the first frames you can see how the Russian FPV drone goes inside the bunker after destroying the control center of the enemy UAV. On the second frames you see the destruction of the 2S-1 Gvozdika artillery installation. The third footage shows the destruction of the Ukrainian armed forces engineering equipment. Center artillerymen hit and Ukrainian armed forces concentration using Grad MLRS in the Krasnoarmeysk direction, the Russian Defense Ministry reports. In the footage you can see a Russian tank, T-90M, advancing on the Russian positions. Probably Russian soldiers are preparing to storm the Ukrainian positions. The Russian military is increasingly recording the movement of Ukrainian soldiers in the suburbs of Kupiansk in civilian cars. To rule out the possibility of hitting civilians, the positions were additionally checked from the air with the help of a reconnaissance drone. Having made sure that it was the Ukrainian armed forces fighters who were on the spot, the coordinates of their location were promptly transmitted to the artillery units. As a result, the enemy was hit with a precision artillery strike. That's all, dear friends. Subscribe to the channel, put likes, and don't forget to click on the bell to not miss new episodes. Leave your comments. Your opinion is very important to us. See you soon.